Awesome. I'll take that response. I like it. Thanks for sticking around for the last demo of the day. I know you guys are probably hungry. Some of you are just here to heckle, so we appreciate you being here. So obviously, as you can see on the screen, we're here today to talk about why managing PCI DSS compliance doesn't have to suck. Now, I want to have a disclaimer out there. TCT does not think that PCI DSS compliance sucks, but we do think that without the proper tool set, the management of it certainly can. So my name is Todd Coshow. I'm the head of business development for TCT. I brought along my colleague, John Dotson. He's our head of product. And today we're going to talk to you a little bit more about compliance management in general. Some of the ways that you guys are handling it currently, things like spreadsheets, lots of manual processes, lots of disparate systems, right? And you're stuck in this realm of manual tracking, a lack of scalability, lots of insecurities and incongruencies between what you're doing and what you wish you were doing. And ultimately, that's going to bog down your compliance workflow. The amount of time that you've invested in those managements, in the management of those engagements does not line up with how much you're actually earning from those. And ultimately, assessment firms, and I think you guys can appreciate this with this crowd especially, hate how much time it takes for you to create the rock. So the pain that's experienced with dealing with these slow vendors across multiple solutions that don't necessarily talk to one another, these are the types of things that you have the ability to address if you had one single system. One place where everything was in the same spot, available from anywhere, stuff's done in real time, there's a completely consolidated communication track, all of the evidence, all of the supporting explanations, the complete history, and a completely customizable end-to-end workflow. And today, I'm going to have my guy, John Dotson, talk a little bit more about what's new on the TCT side for PCI 4.0.
Yeah, I mean, so basically piggybacking off of what Todd said, one of the cool things that we do is we have the ability to obviously migrate all of the existing evidence from a 3.2.1 to a 4.0 track, which is great. So all the existing work that everyone's been doing can just kind of easily carry it over, continue to work, look back at what you've done from the previous year, so that's all available. Obviously, everyone's aware of customized approaches at this point. We have the ability to kind of facilitate that and create that within the portal, link it to the appropriate requirements, have it automatically populate in the rock where it needs to be. One of the cool things with Section 6, I mean, you've got all these different evidence tables. So the ability when you're going into the individual control to be able to actually reference quickly what set of evidence you're using, drop in the appropriate reference numbers into the report text is going to be a really big component. Within the summary of assessment findings area, you've got this new requirement where you really have to specify kind of the justification for why you chose the summary of assessment findings that you did. So being able to have that capability in the tool. And then lastly, just automating all of that inside the rock itself. So that's the biggest piece here, and what we're really leading to is the ability to just generate the rock from the tool. So what I really want to show you now is just a live demo of the tool, going through a couple of the features and functionality in the tool and really kind of showcasing that. So I'm going to go ahead and get switched over to that.
And as we jump in, I just want to ask a real quick question for you guys. How many of you would appreciate a system that would generate the rock for you with the click of a button? That's a good show of hands. I like that, John.
Awesome. So looks like everything's up and running, which is perfect. So what you can see here is like right now, I'm in a PCI 4.0 assessment. Within this assessment, the first screen you kind of land on here is this dashboard overview page. Now this overview page is really broken down into two main sections. You've got this section status grid up along the top. You've got open issues down below. This section status grid is completely customizable. This is your workflow. This is that end-to-end workflow that Todd was referring to. It can have as many steps as you need. Different people can be involved in each one of those steps. They can be called whatever you want to call them. So it can really just adjust and align to your existing workflow. Now, as you're looking at this, you can see just these general percentages. That's letting you know how many items are with each person in the workflow. And it's kind of broken up across the different requirements in the assessment. That's kind of what you're seeing up along the top here. Now, within each one of these workflow steps, you can have multiple individuals multiple individuals assigned. So changing the view here from like the status view to the assigned view, what you'll be able to see is you're going to be able to see things like we've got James, Christina, Lauren, Eric, Sam, all people on that team that are all managing various controls. You can see exactly how many items are assigned out to each one of them, where they're broken up across the different steps in the different requirements within the workflow, so you can kind of see all of that. You can click anywhere on here and filter accordingly. So if I want to see just the 14 controls that are assigned to James, I simply click James's name, it'll filter and just bring up just those 14 controls. And the last thing that you can kind of do here on this main dashboard area is take the same information and convert it into a graphical representation.
And that's something where we hear on a regular basis when you're managing up with this information or when you're doing status meetings with your clients with this information, you don't want to have to decipher tables, or excuse me, spreadsheets for your clients. This gives them that one-shot view to know exactly what they're talking about.
Exactly. Now, the bottom half of this dashboard is really nice because this is essentially the to-do list for each user. If you look at the bottom here, we've got it filtered by my requirements. Each person who logs in is going to see their unique list of items that are specifically assigned to them that they're expected to work on. So they'll be able to go in, take a look at the various requirements, hit the view or the attach evidence buttons to jump to that requirement so they can begin working on it. And that's actually what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go ahead and jump over here to, we're going to look at 123A, the network diagram. This is a pretty straightforward, easy requirement. And what you'll see here when I land on this is we've got the actual requirement details directly from the PCI standard. That's outlined right here, as you can see up along the top. And as we work our way down, you can see like who is the person who's assigned, what workflow status is it currently in, where is it at in terms of the overall reporting? Is it something where you've written the report text so far? Does it still need report text to be written? You can kind of gather up all of that. Now, as we look through here, there's a series of different tabs. These tabs all have kind of different purposes. First one here is guidance. So PCI obviously publishes guidance that kind of explains in more detail what exactly is being asked of this requirement. So we'll always take the PCI guidance and we'll be able to put that into the tool.
The other thing that we really like here is your ability to add individual guidance, maybe for your own organization or specific guidance to your clients to make sure that how these controls are being worked is consistent every single time.
Yeah, and this is all managed in a template level, so you have one single spot to manage this guidance, and every time you roll out a new assessment, this guidance is automatically applied. So you can easily manage it, maintain it, change it. It's updated real time if you go make any changes to it. Going hand in hand with guidance is the ability to upload like examples. So if you have an example of what a network diagram should look like to help the clients out, you can go ahead and upload that. The clients will be able to come in, click it, download it, view exactly what the network diagram looks like, and have a better understanding as to what type of evidence needs to be supplied. Now, you'll see here the next two tabs, explanation and attachments, these are your evidence tabs. So when someone's coming in and working on an individual item, they're able to provide over an explanation. This is really a free-form text field. They can enter in as much information as they want. It's just an area for them to describe how exactly are they meeting this requirement from PCI. In addition to that, you've got the ability to do attachments. This is where they can come in and they can upload attachments. There's no limit to the amount of attachments that they can upload on an individual requirement. And all those attachments will automatically get added into the doc list, be assigned doc numbers, and that'll populate that doc list automatically. So you don't have to go and build that doc list as you're working through it.
And John, will that support any type of attachments?
Supports any type of attachments. So it doesn't matter if it's a Word file, an Excel sheet, image-based PDF, it'll support everything. Now, as the evidence is being uploaded, at that point, they can go ahead and hit this button here to kind of move it forward in the workflow. That'll automatically transition an item from like the client to the assessor, so it's a seamless process to move everything forward. And the assessor, as they're coming in, they can take a look at the evidence, click each one to download it, do the download all to view everything at once, review the evidence that's been supplied. They can accept or reject it. Rejecting it allows them to supply over information that'll pass it right back to the client, allowing them to kind of explain in detail how this item wasn't met, what the client needs to do to supply additional information to meet this requirement. So being able to come in and hit the accept or the reject button is really useful to just pass things back and forth in the workflow.
John, what if you had an attachment that applied to multiple controls?
Yeah, so the ability to attach a requirement to multiple controls is something we absolutely have. You can either upload it in one spot and have it kind of carry across, or you can just go into each one of the controls. You can reference an existing attachment, so you don't have to browse for it again, upload it again. You can just simply go into this quick attach feature. You can go to the existing option here and just search for the individual control, like the individual attachment you're looking for, and just attach it to another control. Now, the report text tab, this is the tab where you're actually entering in the reporting instructions that's going to show up on that final rock. So being able to come in, edit this report text area, and reference the information. Now, the biggest thing here is with the new addition of section 6 and those tables is needing to be able to quickly reference the actual reference numbers of those tables. So here you can see, like when I pull up the document, this is the doc list. I can select the items that I want. I can hit the append in line. That's going to drop in this bulleted list here like you see. So I can just come over here. I can choose these 2 files. I can hit append bulleted list. It's just going to drop those right in. I can save this. But as I go down the list, you can see this is the interview table. So that's the doc list table, the interview table. We've got the observations. We've got system evidence. So we pull those tables in and allow you to see all the context related to it. So when you're making and dropping in those reference numbers, you know exactly what you're referring to. Now, once this information's been entered in and this item is done, at this point I can, say this is ready for QA. Hit the accept button here, and as you'll see, this goes ahead and moves over into the assessor QA arena, automatically assigns to the designated QA. So it's a quick and seamless process to move things from the QSA review to the QA review. And after everything's completed, the ability to come up here, all you have to do is go to the reporting options and hit this button for new. That's going to send out the request to actually generate the rock. So I've already done that.
Wait. Did you say that the portal generates the rock?
It certainly does.
Like on the council's paper?
It absolutely does.
Oh, okay.
So I have the ability here. I've already done it for the sake of time, but here you can go ahead and see. You'll just click this button here. That's going to go ahead and actually download the document, which I think should be downloading. Here we go. Sorry, not my computer. And there we are.
Hey.
All right. So this is the document here. I'm going to go ahead and just do a quick search. We'll just jump straight to the requirement that we just worked on. And here you can see everything's populated. So that summary of assessment findings area where you entered in the justification is filled out. All of this area here with like the customized approach, the CCW, these are all automatically populated from the portal. If you're not using a customized approach or a CCW, this is going to go automatically check to no. So you don't have to sit there and check the box 1,000 times as you're filling out the rock. It's going to do it for you. And anytime you choose to link a customized approach or a CCW, it'll automatically check that box off for you as you're filling it out. And here you can see the actual document information coming directly off of the tool. So all that information is being populated automatically, so you don't have to go and enter that information in as you're working through this. It's all populated. And overall, that pretty much concludes like the main core functionality of the TCT portal.
The only other thing that I wanted to have you show them, if you would be so kind, we've got a little extra time. Show them operational mode, John.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. I know there's a lot of folks out there that are concerned about continuous compliance and how you're managing that month after month, quarter after quarter, year after year. The TCT portal is designed to address this in a way that we call operational mode. John?
Yeah, so operational mode, just like Todd said, basically, as everyone's pretty much aware, with PCI, you've got all these requirements that are expected to be handled on a daily basis, monthly basis, quarterly basis, semi-annual basis. So operational mode allows you to have those items be broken down into a recurring frequency. The portal will send notifications to the clients letting them know, hey, these things are due. Allows the organization to stay on top of things that they should be working on a regular basis. Here you can see overall look and feel, not much different. The main thing is down at the bottom where you're looking at your open issues. These are all the items that are going to be due in 46 days. I've got items that are due in 138 days, 319 days. So it breaks everything down by due date. And as you're going into these items and working on them, what you're able to see here is like, I can jump to any one of these requirements that are outlined, and it breaks everything down by the quarter. So this is a quarterly item. As you can see here, it's showing the active period that So right now we're in 8/1 to 10/31/2022. When I go to explanation, I've got 4 separate fields to enter in an explanation, 1 for each quarter, and it breaks down those time frames. And I've got the ability to attach evidence for each one of those quarters, and I can flag like specifically which quarter it's associated with. So this gives you the ability to kind of keep track of things as you're going through it, especially for those client organizations. This makes sure that they're maintaining and doing everything that they should be doing throughout the course of the year. So when it's time to do the assessment, there's no, accidentally forgot to do a vulnerability scan or something like that. So exactly. All right.
So I think that we're going to hop back into the PowerPoint from here. And so essentially the TCT portal, as I'm sure you just saw, is obviously a SaaS solution. It's web-based. And it's designed for those that are going through compliance or for those that are helping their clients go through compliance. And more or less, we just wanted to point out the fact that making compliance suck less is kind of why we're here. And everything that we do is done so in a way to help you do your job better. My name's Todd. This is John. We're going to be around, and there's obviously some links here. If you guys would like to chat with us in the back, we'd be happy to talk with you then. Thanks so much for the time. Actually, awesome.